Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I am playing against the Chaos Dragon deck, but his card choices are very suspicious because he's playing a bunch more than one of certain cards that I notice. Uh, I won't babble too much, but you'll find out soon enough. So obviously I'm gonna spell some Fenrir in defense, adding Unicorn for my deck to hand. Then I'm gonna synchro summon into Defleur. Afterwards, I'm gonna fusion summon Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer as my going first combo and waiting to summon him. Then I'll set one. For some reason, my set card disappeared. Not sure why. But then I'll revive Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix. This is where it occurs. You'll notice the strange cards that he's adding after and the number of them. Because apparently he's playing numerous Wyvern Buster as well as multiple Club Serpent. You're not going to see it right now, but you have to give it a bit. Because this could be a long duel still. So we are trading blows back and forth, so this should be exciting as well. But you'll notice the odd choices in his deck. Because I don't know if this is legal, whether he's playing OCG deck, or maybe I agreed to this duel without looking at the legality or the like I'm saying. You see right now, look, he has literally two collab serpents in his hand rather than one. See, there's one in his hand and one on his field, and now he's sending it to the graveyard to link it to Sky Striker Dragon, obviously. So yeah, that in itself, he is playing in an illegal deck, basically. Because where in the TCG are you able to play more than one Collapsed Serpent and one versus? This is the current TCG. And I'm talking about right now, March 15, 2023. I'm looking at the date right while I'm recording this. So obviously he's gonna banish Chaos Space. Place one of his banished more light or dark monsters that can't be normal summoned. And he draws a card. So it is definitely concerning. I don't know whether he found a way to hack into the game, the simulator, and then just turn off the limitation of these cards. Maybe I'm just hallucinating, or maybe I agreed to the duel without seeing the regulations. So again, he's gonna banish his Caliber with Allure. But besides talking all this, I'm just like again, I'm providing all the proof right here that you see in his hand. He's playing multitude of monsters that aren't limited in the TCG. So, and he managed to have access to them in his deck in the duel that we have right now. So, to me, it's just beyond unfair, and like it just seems like the guy's deliberately cheating, and the guy is just really desperate to win. So he'll do whatever he can to find his way to victory, or cheat his way to victory, actually, even if it means bending the rules. So, and people will look at this hand and say, how can he have a hand that big? On top of that, like he's trying to make it seem where the opponent has a disadvantage, while he enables the technicality. So what I'm trying to say, he enables the technicality by giving him the advantage by increasing the odds of playing cards that are limited or that are restricted by the ban list. Where in the ban list, every player is supposed to utilize certain number of cards based on that list, and they have to follow them. So again, this guy is trying to basically find the easy way of trying to basically troll his opponent and get a easy win, which isn't going to be possible. Getting a free win isn't possible at all, unless the opponent, depending on the player's like circumstance and what they have on board. So I'm not going to call it quits just because he found a way to play a multitude of cards that are limited. So it would, especially with the semi-limit, it'd be very hard to tell whether someone's actually playing more than two. It'd be very hard because if they are, you can call them out. But it'd be very difficult because you have to keep, because there's no way of someone keeping track of their deck. You can't even look at their deck unless the card that allows you to. So either way, I'm just gonna play it safe. So because if he was playing these cards in a local tournament, whether it doesn't have to be at a local game. It doesn't. It could just be casual. I feel like someone will call him out and say, "Oh, this guy's trying to cheat his way to locals," and possibly with Defleur, I'm gonna most likely chain with her effect. Give me one. Can I even use her effect? Let's fast forward. No, I'm finally no. I'm gonna activate Droplet instead. So I'm pretty sure I already used Defleur, so my bad. By the way, this guy's just trying to get around the ban list without people noticing. Because like for people, it would suck for those who are naive about the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list, who have no clue what cards are legal or illegal. Because that's important. Because like that basically gives players a chance to try and cheat opponents who are foolish enough to agree to the terms that they are willing to take. But without the but with there you have the opponent who's trying to help cheat their way into getting an easy win by trying to lie to the opponent, lie to the player, let them know that things are perfectly fine the way it is, and that like he's trying to find a way to like explain and justify his card choices and saying it does not hinder the game whatsoever, which it clearly does. That's why Konami made them, even though Konami can pretty much snake their consumers and they're not going to tell you when the ban list is going to happen. But they make sure for the people that are complaining, the buyers, for the players, the player base who have an issue and who are trying to call out the problem in Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami will take notes and they will think whether they should hit it or not. And this guy here misplayed because while you control Pisty, he's only restricted to summoning dragon monsters while his cards face up. I explained earlier, so he's gonna do the same thing again, but he's gonna try to link off with Pisty when it clearly says you cannot special summon monsters except dragon monsters. So not only is this guy's a cheat, he's a noob as well, but he didn't come off as an asshole though. I'll respect that. But it just seems like he's desperate to win, honestly. Overall, like this duel is just in itself flimsy, and it's just complete ridiculous, and just seems like even seems still honestly the way he's playing it out as if he's putting on an act for me. So like it just seems like people look at this duel and say this has to be staged because they're gonna think I actually let him. I probably there are people are gonna think I probably gave him permission, but I didn't realize what deck he was even playing in the first place. So there's no way of me telling what cards he has in his deck because this is a random duel that I consented to, and I haven't even figured what deck he was playing. So there was no way of me confirming it because the only time I can even see the cards is once the duel starts and whoever plays their cards first, Whoever, if he were to play his cards, yes, then that's the only way I can find out in a duel. Maybe if I dueled him in the past, but since this is the first time I ever faced him, now I'm figuring out. Okay, this deck itself is completely illegal, and some people, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have rage quit in this situation. But I want to prove that I want to prove I want to prove to the opponent that I am willing to stand up against his deck, especially whatever the flaws he has, in order to try to put me in a corner. I'll find ways to manage it and make a comeback. So, because looking at my hand already is nowhere even close to being the end of this duel. So we're still waiting. I'll let him attack. I'm cool with that. Sure, 1500. I'm gonna take some hefty damage, but that's okay because it doesn't. I managed to survive this turn. So, like you see right now, get back DPE from my graveyard. Use DP's effect again to pop Rokket Tracer. That's cool. Forcing it to chain. That's fine by me. Then use DP's effect. And then I'll special summon Kasha Finner. Use the effect to search. As you can see right now, this is going to be punishing for my opponent. I'm going to punish him really hard, trust me, when I say this. So I'll banish Unicorn, thanks to Scareclaw's effect. Then I'm going to use Raiha's Heart's effect, targeting Fenrir. And then my opponent's forced to banish the top 3 cards of his deck. And I must banish 1 Kastera card from my deck. As you see right now, Theosis. Theosis' effect will resolve, allowing me to retrieve Unicorn that was banished. Just fine by me. I'm going to attack into his Quadboral Dragon, Fenrir. This is where he's trying to seize the victory and complain. And I let him confirm that is when this card declares an attack, that's when I can target 1 face-up card and banish it. I'm letting you know I'm attacking with Fenrir, and then I'm declaring the effect to banish his Levianeer, and I'll attack directly with Scareclaw. So he's about to take 26. Going to main phase 2. Gonna Xyz summon for Shangri-Ira, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I should be right on this. Hopefully I got his name right, because I don't want to get his name sounds complicated, so you guys get what I mean. Standby phase. Can use Shangira's effect, as well as retrieve my DPE. And as you see right now, I already have 4 monsters. It doubled at this point, so originally had 2 or 3 monsters. I had 3 monsters, then 2, and then later it doubled from 2 to 4. So either he's gonna call it quits, but he doesn't look like he's given up yet. He's gonna trade in his Nibiru by using Chaos Space to search for a possibly Collapsed Serpent or Dragonair, Levianeer, like you see right now. It's fine by me. So sure, he's going to be able to pop at least a couple of my cards if he's going to special summon something from his graveyard, depending on the number of light darks in his grave. Which I'm trying to see right now. He used a lot of monsters at this point, so he's trying to go for the pop too, which is fine. So he's going to use Levianeer's effect. And then I'll chain using Fenrir as well as Unicorn. It's fine. It's fine. He's probably going to blow up my DP, which is cool. And Fenrir. Then use DP's effect during standby. So he's going to, okay. He drew 1. And this is where he admits defeat. Again, I was wondering, like, considering this game does not follow by the ban list, do you think his deck was flawed, and should he have played it the way it would revolve around the TCG, and like including the ban list, or should I just accept it and just realize that I chose to consent to this duel? Because yeah, There was no way I would have been able to face him had he not agreed to it. So it's like I can't just find a duel and pretty much choose who I want to face whenever I feel like. I do have to get the opponent to agree with me. But overall, I feel like there's so much to his deck that needs to be like criticized for. For one, to me, it doesn't really explain how players have the option, they have the choice to play cards that are limited and making them unlimited. And even if some cards are some, that's why I think in a way the semi-limit doesn't help, because some people can find a way of slipping 3 into their deck, even with just 2. And the only exception is malicious. So, but either way, this duel was to prove that even with the changes, the modifications he did with his deck, that doesn't revolve around the ban list, I still managed to come with a victory, and that like people would rage quit in this situation, but already considering how good this deck is, again, it would have been enough to put enough pressure on the opponent, even if he were to play without the without the ban list, to give him the advantage. But overall, my deck is just too strong enough, and I managed to overcome that opposing deck that almost could potentially be a problem in the future had good Konami decided to take their decide to take their consideration. And what I mean by the consideration is if whether these cards should come back to 3, even though they're supposed to be limited, and should be kept that way unless they somehow aren't as toxic and hectic compared to the previous formats, and if they are possibly neutered without anything that involves cards getting errataed. But at the same time, when people are how fast the game has gone to the point where you can just bring them back at 3, and they won't be a problem. Actually, they were a problem back then, but they won't cause too much of an issue because they are not a deck that a lot of people are net decking in, to the point that the combo is even consistent as it was before, because things have changed, that there are cards that are just even hella broken and just more abusable, which justify those cards coming back. But besides the ban list, either way, this duel was enough to entertain you guys, and I'm aware you guys should be aware, like, it was worth watching. Even me playing, I had fun having this duel, and even getting involved and facing the opponent, considering the amount of trickery he's done. I am not in a way opposed or disappointed, because I agreed to the duel and he helped me prove my point, like I said before. And this is just, again, to give you guys some encouragement, some advice, and what kind of decks you might possibly build. You could try to be unique, but what's important is being innovative. And that's what I look into when I see the players, when they try to make up for the lack of ideas, and they try to create something that not many players are aware of that can catch their interest. So he may have played something that could be innovative, but at the same time, he did the wrong way by not looking into the ban list and refusing to do so. But again, hope you guys enjoy the duel. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.